Hi, I'm Michaela and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my Syngonium collection. And as usual with my collection videos, I'm going to start by whatever is the most in my way. I don't have as many Syngoniums as I do philodendrons and Hoyas, if you saw either of those two previous videos. And for some reason, I always tell people that I don't like Syngoniums, but that is clearly not the case at all. And I've really been enjoying them lately. I forgot one. Do I go get it now? I'll show you all of these and then I'll go get the one I forgot. Okay, so we are not starting off strong. This is one of my neglected, very sad looking Syngoniums. It's a Syngonium Aurea, and it's one of those that will tolerate really low light, so I kind of have a few of those plants that I rotate in and out of the sun, and I let that one be out of the sun for a little bit too long. So she is now in a rehab location and will hopefully return to her former glory. But I just wanted to, it is a Syngonium in my collection, so I didn't want to pretend like I don't have plants that look like that, because we all do. Okay, so the next one that I have is a Syngonium Pink Splash, and I really like this one. I'm a big fan of pink plants, and it goes perfectly with this cute little pot. And this one, I have heard it is a trickier one. It seems to be doing okay for me so far. I moved it out of my Mills bow and the pink became quite a bit less bright, so I think I may move it back in there. I don't know if it's the light or the humidity doing that. I would guess something about the humidity, because the lights I have it under now are the same thing that I have in there. So yeah, Syngonium Pink Splash. Alright, so the next one is this Syngonium Erythrophyllum. This is such a cool one, and look at the backs of the leaves. They're just really purpley, and the front is really dark, and I love plants with really dark foliage. This one seems to like a lot more water than a lot of my other Syngoniums do. So once I started watering it more, it started producing much bigger leaves. I will say this one is quite a bit more difficult to propagate, I've found, than a lot of other Syngoniums. Okay, the next one I have is definitely my favorite right now. I think I'm one of those people, I say every plant is my favorite. So I don't have favorites, but I've really been enjoying this one lately. This is my Syngonium Aurea. I think this is such a cool plant, and as you can see on this leaf here, when the variegation comes in, it's not quite as contrasty as it ends up being as the leaf hardens off. So it's kind of a little bit of a surprise what the leaf is going to look like, and I think that is so fun. I think maybe if you were looking at this, you might think it's an Albo Syngonium, but when you have them next to one another, you can tell they are quite a bit different. So I would argue that there is a need for both. I'm going to show you the Albo Syngonium right quick. Okay, so here they are next to each other. I would say they do look quite a bit different, if you were curious. I will say the Aurea seems to grow quite a bit slower than the Albo. So, okay, this is, let me get where you can see it. This is my Albo Syngonium. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite plants. It's a fast grower, it's really easygoing, very forgiving, and I would say I almost like that better than an Albo Monstera. So if you're in the market for an Albo Monstera, I think an Albo Syngonium is a good replacement until you can get that, or looking at my Albo now, I definitely like the Syngonium better. So yeah, it's one of my favorites. You can't go wrong. Okay, the next one that is most in my way is this little pink Syngonium. That's not gonna work. I think it is called a Neon Robusta Syngonium, but I could be wrong. It's one that's really easy to find in garden centers and is really easy to care for, and the more light you give it, the brighter the pink will be. So it's just a fun, easy, unique plant that's not super expensive, and who doesn't love that? Oh God, I almost flipped my table. Okay, so this one, I don't really know what this is called. I think it's just a Syngonium Podophyllum. And this was a cutting. This actually has a really cool story, or I think it's a cool story. It was a cutting from a family friend's plant that they were not wanting to move or something like that. And it was an older couple, and this was a gift from the husband's mom. So it was a very old plant, and yeah, I got a cutting and it rooted really quickly, and now I have like 3 or 4 plants in here, and it's just, it is so pretty. I'm gonna say it again. It's one of my favorites. It truly is. It's just, it's easygoing, simple, very beautiful, and grows really quickly. But I think these just grow wild in like Florida and places like that. So it's probably just something really basic, and people probably like weed this out of their garden or something, but send them to me, you know? I am a big fan. Okay, next one is this Syngonium Wendlandii. And this one did get a little bit sunburnt out in my greenhouse. This is a really cool one. It has kind of velvety leaves, and I will say this one does like pretty high humidity. So if it's one you're thinking about getting, I would consider keeping it in a cabinet or by a humidifier. But if you give it the right conditions, they do grow really quickly. Okay, every time I do like a collection tour, or not a collection tour, but like a species collection tour on my channel, the wind always starts like blowing doors open. I don't know what it is. It's a little disconcerting though, I will say that. Okay, so this is a Syngonium Ice Frost. This one is really pretty, and it has such a unique texture, and this will grow really, really quickly for you if you give it the right conditions. It does like high humidity, and I have to repot this thing every couple of months. I just repotted this, and oh, there goes some perlite. This is the root situation. So, and this, a lot of my plants do live in a greenhouse, so I think that's part of why, but very fast growing, unique plant. And I think those are definitely becoming more readily available at like garden centers and stuff, so keep an eye out. Okay, and this looks really similar to the last one. This is a Syngonium Macrophyllum, and this is probably one of my favorite leaf textures of any of my plants, and it never shows up quite as cool on camera, but they're just like a matte neon green, and it is a very cool plant. So I will say I've had a little bit of a hard time rooting them compared to other Syngoniums, and it probably looks a lot like the last one I held up, so I'll show you both of them. They are a little bit different. All right, and these next two also look very, very similar. This is a Syngonium Three Kings. Typically there's a little bit more of a contrast between the dark green and light green on this plant, but it is receiving very, very high light in my greenhouse. It's about time to switch my shade cloths to the summer one. So that's why it may look a little bit different. But I got this as just a little tiny node cutting from my friend Kenna last summer, I think. And once it took off, it really took off. So this is a really fun one. This one looks very similar. This is a Syngonium Magic Marble. I imported this one probably, I think I got it in like December or so, so it's still kind of working on coming back, but it looks a little bit different. It's hard to describe the differences. They don't really look like the same plant to me, but they do look similar. So, and this was sold to me as a Magic Marble, and this is a Three Kings. Okay, if you watch my plant tours, you have probably seen a lot of these around my house. I have several. It is a Syngonium berry Allusion, and you could probably find this plant at just about any garden center. And yeah, it's grown a lot for me, but it is one of those that you don't really notice growing until one day it's just way bigger. But yeah, it's such a cute one. And it just lives in my living room, and when we're trying to watch TV and stuff, I'm often just kind of staring at this plant. Okay, the last ones are kind of my newer ones. They were all pretty recently imported, so they're not really quite settled in yet, so they may not be looking the best. But this is I believe this is called a Syngonium Pink Flecked, or that is what it was sold to me as. If it is called something else and you know, let me know. But yeah, it's still, this actually just came earlier this week, so. And it was one that I just kind of added on to have the right number of plants. So it may be like one of those really common garden center ones, but I don't even care. Find me a pink plant and I will never say no. Okay, this one is another really tricky Syngonium, and it's nothing to write home about in its current state. This is supposed to be a Syngonium Strawberry Ice, and I imported a few of these and none of them did very well. There was one with really cool variegation, but it died very quickly. And this one was just a stump, and it has come back, but we're not getting any pink variegation. But you never know with variegation. Like, you could get 4 or 5 plain leaves and then one day you get a perfectly variegated one. So never throw away a reverted variegated plant. All right, and this is a Syngonium Pink Spot. That's the cool thing about Syngoniums, is there's so many pink ones. If you're like a pink person like me, there's a lot of cool Syngoniums for you out there. It looks like this leaf is gonna be really neat too. Okay, this one I'm really excited about. This is a Syngonium Green Splash. And where's that one leaf? This leaf is really cool. It's kind of pink and has like darker variegation. I love this one. Yeah, it's very unique variegation. Like, it's not the typical variegation that you see, and I love that. And I also am really enjoying light green lately, if you can't tell by my shirt. I feel like my mom, anytime I wear a plaid shirt, like I'm seeing myself in this viewfinder on my camera, and I just see my mom, and it's weird. Not that I have a problem with that, but it's weird when you see yourself and it's not you, you know what I mean? Okay, so I have one that I forgot about, so I have to go out to the greenhouse to get it. Okay, so this is a Syngonium Mojito. I also see them being sold as Syngonium Army, but they also have kind of like the yellowy light green variegation. And something I'm noticing about this plant is, oh, there goes some more perlite. And you can tell off of this one, I have taken a lot of cuttings, so it isn't as pretty and stately as a lot of them are. But anyway, yeah, this one has much better variegation in the summer when there's higher light. Even when I'm growing it under grow lights and stuff, it's kind of like the Paraiso Verde. I'm not sure why that would be, so if you know, I would love to know. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video. That is all of the Syngoniums that I have at this time. I'm always looking for more Syngoniums now. I'm just really enjoying them. There's one, what is it called, that I'm really enjoying? The pink salmon. I would love to find one of those, but they're pretty expensive. And then the red spot tricolor. And then, of course, the Syngonium scrambled egg. Those are all on my wish list, but I'm not looking to spend what those cost at this juncture. So, yeah, I really like Syngoniums, and even though I say that I don't, they're not what comes to mind when I think my favorite plants, but they are really easygoing and they don't ask a lot of you, which I appreciate. But they can also have some really striking foliage. So yeah, I do hear people say they're prone to spider mites. Personally, knock on wood, I have not had spider mites on any of my Syngoniums. So hopefully I won't find them on all of them later this afternoon. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment, and follow me on Instagram at Queen City Tropicals, and I will see you again soon.